What's going on, guys? This is Austin from Austin and Dakota here, and I'm back once again with the new video for you guys today. And today I thought we would take a break from the gaming videos, and since you guys in the comments suggested this video, I am going to show my entire updated CD collection, or my updated CD collection. We have a lot of CDs to get through. Don't worry, this is not going to be all in one video. This is going to be multiple parts. So up here, we're going to start with my discographies. That's what part 1 is going to be. And then parts 2 onward will be the rest of the CDs. So let's get started. I'm also going to give some thoughts on them. So first up, down here, Bloodbath with Breeding Death. Big fan of this band. I have most of their albums. This is an EP. But very good EP. Furnace Funeral, Breeding Death, very good. But then we get to their second album, Nightmares Made Flesh, which to me is probably their best album. I mean, you got Peter Tagardon on lead vocals. It's very heavy, very menacing, good stuff. Cancer of the Soul, Brave New Hell. Freaking Eaton, Outnumbering the Day. Yeah, very, very good. And then Michael Åkerfeldt would return to Bloodbath on The Fathomless Mastery. Yep, The Fathomless Mastery. We would see Michael Åkerfeldt return, and this would be his last appearance with Bloodbath. He would leave Bloodbath shortly after this album in the Bloodbath Over Bloodstock album. But this album's good. I like this one. It's got Mock the Cross, Jesus. Very good stuff. I really like this album a lot. But then they would take a little bit of a break, and then out introduces Nick Holmes of Paradise Lost. And his first appearance with Bloodbath would be on this album, Grand Morbid Funeral. This is my favorite Bloodbath album with Nick Holmes on lead vocals. It's just everything about this album is amazing. Let the Stillborn, I think it's Let the Stillborn Come to Me. I'm gonna look off camera. Yeah, Let the Stillborn Come to Me. And Church of Vestidos, Mental Abortion, self-titled track, amazing, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Alright, next up, and then to conclude my Bloodbath, we have an album that doesn't get talked about enough by these guys, and that would be The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. I actually like this album a whole lot. I really like The Arrow of Satan is Drawn. It's got some good stuff on here, Blood Aside, Chainsaw Lullaby. Is it as good as Grand Morbid Funeral? No. It's not as good as Grand Morbid Funeral, but at the same time, though, I do like this album by these guys. But yeah, definitely check out Bloodbath if you haven't already. Very, very good stuff. CDs are being a little bit iffy. Now we're on to my Cannibal Corpse CDs. Good stuff by these guys, so let's dive right into my Cannibal Corpse. Alright. Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life. Released in 1990. This is a very good album. Good start to their career, in my honest opinion. Now, Chris Barnes, around this time, he didn't have a very strong vocal approach until the later albums, which I will be discussing. But, yeah, I like this one. More thrash than it is. It's more thrashy death metal than it is the heavy, straightforward death metal. Shredded Humans, I mean, Edible Autopsy, Scattered Remains, Scattered Splattered Brains. It's got some good tracks on here, and the cover art by Vincent Locke is just legendary. I love Shredded Humans off this album. I love the opening. Early hours, open road, family 5 all the way home, and it just talks about their guts splattering all over the roadway. Haha, awesome stuff. Then we get to 1991. I don't have the case for this anymore, but you guys know what that looks like. With Butchered at Birth. Now this is when Chris Barnes' vocals just went for more of a deeper approach. Like, if you're expecting Eaten Back to Life era Chris Barnes, you're not getting that here. And that cover art, though, man, it's just so gruesome. So gruesome. Gruesome, but a classic at that. Meat Hook Sodomy, Gutted, Entrance Decay, Rancid Amputation, Vomit the Soul, Covered with Sores. Yeah, I love this album. Best track on this album, I would honestly say Rancid Amputation. And then we get to the cream of the crop here. Tomb of the Mutilated. Oh, had to cover up the camera there for a second, sorry. Tomb of the Mutilated. Love this album, just classic. One of my most sought after Cannibal Corpse albums. Excellent albums, beginning to end, just amazing. Just sheer brutality by Cannibal Corpse. I mean, you cannot go wrong with this album. I mean, Hammer Smashed Face, the classic, Split Wide Open, the Necropedophile. Yeah. The Cryptic Stench being one of the more underrated Cannibal Corpse songs ever made, in my opinion. Very, very good. Sorry, CDs are running to be just a tiny bit iffy. Okay, sorry about that. We're on to the next album. That'd be The Bleeding, 1994. Everyone's favorite Cannibal Corpse album, and I can kind of see why. I mean, Chris Barnes was going for more of a high-pitch scream with the low guttural. He was kind of mixing that in. In all honesty, it works on this album comparative to what he's doing now with 6 Feet Under. But if you want Barnes at his best vocal approach, definitely check this album out. I mean, the Pickaxe Murders, the self-titled track, She Asked For It, Force-Fed Broken Glass, Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead. Yeah, good stuff. I love the song Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead. Awesome stuff, man. I love this album. I go back and forth between what album's better, this album or Tomb of the Mutilated. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Then, Chris Barnes would leave the group, go on to be with 6 Feet Under, and then we get Corpse Grinder on Vile. So this was the start of the Corpse Grinder era. People are saying that this was a rare miss by Cannibal Corpse. I personally don't think so. I personally think this was a very good album. Very, very good. It was kind of a return to form for Cannibal Corpse. I mean, yeah, they kind of took some time off because they couldn't find a lead singer, but they found, come on, camera focus. But they did wind up finding Corpse Grinder, who's known for his time with Monstrosity and all that. They have a very good album. I mean, Devoured by Vermin, Mummified and Barbed Wire, one of my all-time favorite Cannibal Corpse songs. Yeah. People say that's a rare miss by Cannibal Corpse. I personally don't think so. Next up, Gore Obsessed, released in 2002. Now this to me is the best Corpse Grinder album. Very heavy, very brutal, pummeling riffs. Corpse Grinder sounds the best on this album. I mean, I think it's from Lacerate to Asphyxiate. Grotesque, the last track on this album. Pit of Zombies, Drowning in Viscera. What more could be said about this album that already has been said? Love, love, love Gore Obsessed. Awesome album. Definitely worth checking out. Then fast forward to 2004, The Wretched Spawn. Now, The Wretched Spawn, in my opinion, is one of their weaker albums. People say that this is their best. I personally don't think so. I don't think this is their best by a long shot. But it's a good album. I mean, it's one I can't listen to this album over and over. But at the same time, though, everything's there. But it is known for some classic tracks, like Festering in the Crypt, Frantic Disembowelment, Decency Defied. Yeah, I don't mind the Wretched Spawn. But it's not an everyday listen for me. Next up, 2006. Kill. Now this is just when they didn't even bother going for a grotesque cover, and you just get Cannibal Corpse in red and then Kill just straight across the board here. Awesome album, a very good comeback after the Wretched Spawn. This is a very, very good comeback. Love this album. Five Nails Through the Neck, Make Them Suffer, one of my all-time favorite songs. The Time to Kill Is Now. Death Walking Terror, there's a promo video for that. Yeah, great stuff. Love Kill. Alright, next. 2013, I believe, for this album. Yeah, it's severely broken, but this is Evisceration Plague. Another good album by Cannibal Corpse. I really like this one a lot. Yeah, just excellent, excellent stuff. I love this album by Cannibal Corpse. Whoop. Yeah, see what I mean? Yeah, the case is broken. 1 second, sorry. You'll have that happen. It's broke. I really gotta get a replacement jewel case for this, because any more damage in the case is gonna be done. But yeah, Priest of Sodom, Shatter Their Bones, self-titled track, you get the idea. Next up, Torture. Now, Torture is a really good album. I personally like Torture. This one's just another banger by Cannibal Corpse. I mean, what more can be said about Cannibal Corpse that already has been said? They know what they're doing. I mean, even with this album, it's a lot more heavier in my opinion. I mean, Scourge of Iron, Encased in Concrete, The Strangulation Chair. Yeah. Enough said about this album that already has been said. I mean, plus, what more can be said about Cannibal Corpse? I mean, they're just a legendary band, man. I mean, if you don't like them, then what's wrong with you? Next up, A Skeletal Domain. One of my favorite Cannibal Corpse albums of all time. Definitely one of my favorites, man. I freaking love this album. Everything from the production, everything from beginning to end is just amazing. I love the opening, High Velocity Impact Splatter, Killer Become, Headlong into Carnage, Ice Pick Lobotomy, Asphyxiate to Resuscitate. Great stuff, man. I love this album to death. I love this album to pieces, man. Then 2020, either 2020 or 2021, we'd get this album. This is Violence Unimagined. I believe this came out in 2021, so during the pandemic, unfortunately. But yeah, very good. I like this one a lot. I remember hearing Murderous Rampage, and I thought, oh my god, this album's gonna be awesome, and it is. Inhumane Harvest. Good stuff off this album, man. Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse, in my opinion, I love everything they've done. Not a single dud except for maybe The Wretched Spawn, but that's pretty much it. Then we get their latest album, Chaos Horrific. My favorite metal album of 2023. This album is heavy, it's pummeling, aggressive at times. Just an amazing freaking album, man. I remember hearing Bloodblind for the first time and thought to myself, wow, this album is gonna be something, and it was. Yeah. I love Chaos Horrific. Alright, that's it for my Cannibal Corpse section. Now we're going to Dark Throne. Fantastic Norwegian band. But before they became black metal, we gotta start with the beginning. They were death metal. With this album, their debut, Soulside Journey, 1991. This is when they were death metal, not black metal. To me, this album's good. Is it one of their best? No. But I mean, it's a good starter. It's a good starter album if you really want to get into Darkthrone. Grave with a View, man. Best track on this album. Yeah, I really like... I like Soulside Journey a lot. But then they transitioned their sound to more black metal with this legendary masterpiece. Sorry if you hear that sneezing, but that's cut in the background sneezing. But their second album, A Blaze in the Northern Sky. This is where they changed up their sound for more of a black metal kind of vibe. It's pretty good. I like this one. Is it one of their best? I personally agree. I think it is one of their best. And that album art, come on, camera, focus, is just legendary. Legendary cover art. Yeah. One of their best. However, in terms of raw black metal, I'd have to go with Under a Funeral Moon. I think Under a Funeral Moon is better than A Blaze in the Northern Sky. In my opinion, they nailed the atmosphere and the tone of this album. It's really stripped down, nasty, evil black metal. That's exactly what this is. Exactly what it is. Stripped down, nasty, evil black metal. Pure genius on this album, man. Pure genius. And this would be the last album to feature Sevirus. He would leave the group shortly after. But yeah, brilliant album, man. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. My opinion, better than A Blaze in the Northern Sky. But then you get their masterpiece right here, Transylvanian Hunger, 1994. To me, the best Darkthrone album. And not only is it their best, it's my favorite Darkthrone album. And it's also my favorite black metal album of all time. I can just go on and just list why I like this album. But it'd just be too much for me to even talk about. This video would never get out. Then, one of their later albums, this is Astral Fortress. I liked their new one. I can't remember what it is, but I liked their newest one. I like most of Darkthrone's stuff. Granted, they changed their sound a lot, but at the same time, though, I mean, it's for the better, I guess. I don't know. But this is one of their later albums, Astral Fortress. Between this and Satanic Warmaster's Omagander was Black Metal Album of the Year for me, 2022. Either 2022 or 2023. I'm gonna look off camera here. 2022. Yeah, great album. I like this one a lot. The atmosphere and everything about it is just amazing. So that's it for my Darkthrone. Now we're gonna go to Breaking Benjamin. So up here I have, don't ask why it's in a phobia case, but I have Saturate, We Are Not Alone. Now to me, We Are Not Alone was my introduction to Breaking Benjamin. I mean, the song Firefly off this album, yeah, amazing stuff. I like this one. Now here's my actual copy of Phobia. This is a legendary album by Breaking Benjamin. Oh, shoot, I just hit my camera. So I'm trying to get my CD to balance here, and it's hard to balance. You're going to excuse that. There we go. But yeah, Phobia is amazing. I mean, it's a legendary Breaking Benjamin album. And I mean legendary. I mean, The Diary of Jane, Dance with the Devil, Unknown Soldier. Great stuff, man. I like this album a lot. My second favorite Breaking Benjamin album. I showed that one. That went out of order there. Then we get to their fourth album, Dear Agony, 2009. To me, this is a more underrated Breaking Benjamin album. You don't hear too many people talk about this album. They just talk about maybe the first few Breaking Benjamin, but I like this album a lot. Self-titled track, I Will Not Bow, Anthem of the Angels. Very good stuff on here, man. Very, very good stuff. And then we get, this is a compilation album, but this is Shallow Bay, the Best of Breaking Benjamin Deluxe Edition. 2 CDs. 1 CD is the compilation, 2 are rarities that didn't really make the album. Excellent stuff. Not much to say about this, it's a compilation. Literally, not much to say about it, so... Alright, then we get my personal favorite Breaking Benjamin album, Dark Before Dawn. Now, this is an amazing album by Breaking Benjamin. They really found their sound on this, in my opinion. People say Phobia, they found their sound, I get it. But yeah, Dark Before Dawn, yeah, this is when they were kind of at their heaviest, in my opinion, but it's still a great album. Angels Fall, Ashes of Eden, Hollow. Such a brilliant album by Breaking Benjamin. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Then we get to their most recent, or at least their latest, Ember. Ember is pretty good. I like Ember a lot. Not much to say about this one either. Breaking Benjamin is just amazing. I mean, Feed the Wolf, Red Cold River, Tourniquet. Yeah, very good stuff. You have to excuse the sneezing. That's Dakota's sneezing. It's my brother. Now we're on to Megadeth, my second favorite band of all time. Here we have the debut, Killing Is My Business, and Business Is Good. I personally don't like this album. I get it. People praise this album because it's their debut. But the version I have is clean. I gotta get a better copy of this, and I'll probably get rid of it. But yeah, it's not a Megadeth album I can go back and play, is what I'm saying. If I want to go back and play a Megadeth album, I'd play this one more. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? 1986. To me, they found their sound on this. And it's, in my opinion, like I said, it's better than Killing Is My Business. It's much, much better. I mean, Peace Sells, Wake Up Dead, Good Morning Black Friday, I Ain't Superstitious. Yeah, just a great album. I think anything after Killing Is My Business is good. No pun intended. Then we get their third album, So Far, So Good, So What. This, for a while, was my favorite Megadeth album. Probably still is. I mean, it's ranked pretty up. It's high up there. I mean, it's a great album. I love it. Freaking 502, Hook and Mouth, Anarchy in the UK. But the best track on this album, I'm going to look off camera again, and My Darkest Hour. Easily the best track. Definitely one Megadeth album to check out. But then we get my personal favorite Megadeth album, Rust in Peace. This is an iconic album, man. Mostly everyone's favorite Megadeth album. I would say mostly, but it's everybody's favorite Megadeth album. And I have no problem with that. Holy Wars, Tornado of Souls, Hangar 18. Oh, God. Brilliant. Masterpiece. Masterpiece. Not only that, but this is my favorite thrash metal album of all time. Recommend it. Then, the last of my Megadeth is Countdown to Extinction. A very good album. I like this one a lot. My third favorite Megadeth album. My second favorite is Peace Sells. But yeah, I love this album. Countdown to Extinction, Symphony of Destruction, Sweating Bullets, Architecture of Aggression, Foreclosure of a Dream, Sweating Bullets. Such an iconic album. I love this album by Megadeth. A lot of people don't. I do. Alright, now we're on to Alice in Chains. To me, Alice in Chains is just a legendary band. One of the best grunge metal bands, or the best grunge bands ever to come out. Debut Facelift, one of the best debuts ever made. I mean, Lane Staley. What more could be said about this album, man? Man in the Box, Bleed the Freak, We Die Young. Love, Hate, Love. Put You Down. Yeah. Not much to be said about Facelift, man. Not much to be said about Facelift. Then we get to Dirt, my personal favorite Alice in Chains album. This, to me, is Lane Staley at his angriest, in my opinion. You hear him angry on Facelift, but this is him at his angriest, in my opinion. Them Bones, Wood, Rooster, Angry Chair, Damn That River. This, to me, has more known tracks than anything. But then we get, unfortunately, the third album, the self-titled album, and you're probably wondering why I'm saying unfortunately. This would be the last time that would feature Lane Stallion lead vocals before he passed away. Sadly. But this is another good one. Heaven Beside You. Just classic. This is the self-titled album, by the way. Or the Three-Legged Dog album. To me, the first 3 Alice in Chains albums are the ones to have. We're going to end part 1. We're going to do Disturbed, and then we'll end part 1 with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Alright, next up, Disturbed. One of my favorite bands, 10,000 Fists. 2005. My personal favorite Disturbed album. This was heavy, very good at times, very kind of groovy. 10,000 Fists, Land of Confusion, Stricken, I'm Alive, Sense of Plunder, Overburden, or Welcome Burden, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Overburden, I was right. But yeah, great album, love it. Then we get to 2009, Indestructible. Yeah, this is another great album. I like this one a lot by Disturbed. Front to back, back to front, without skipping a track, very good. Oh. Like I said, it's YouTube. Things like that will happen. I mean, Indestructible, Inside the Fire. Next, we have Asylum. 2010? Yep, 2010. Good album here by Disturbed. I like this one. Asylum, Another Way to Die, The Animal, Warrior. Yeah, I like this one. I like the cover on this, too. Then, we have a compilation album here, The Lost Children. This is a compilation album filled with B-sides and unreleased tracks that were supposed to be on albums. So you got like Hell, Mine, 3, Midlife Crisis, Leave It Alone, God of the Mind, best track, Living After Midnight, which is a Judas Priest song. Great stuff. Then we get to, my opinion, their last good album, Immortalized. This to me was their last good album, in my opinion. I don't like anything after Immortalized. They changed their sound way too much. And that's sad, man. That's sad. I really wanted to love Disturbed like more, but yeah. But this is their last good album. Save Our Last Goodbye, Never Wrong. Good stuff, though. Alright, now we're on to Ozzy Osbourne solo discography. This is going to be the end of part 1. So yeah, please subscribe for part 2. So next up in the collection, we got Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. He did this album. This is his first solo. After he left Black Sabbath. I like this one. However, I think Crazy Train is a bit overplayed, to be quite honest. Next up, Diary of a Madman. One of his better albums, in my opinion. Over the Mountains, Sado, self-titled. Yeah, great stuff. Then we get his third album, Bark of the Moon. My personal favorite Ozzy Osbourne album. My personal favorite Ozzy album. Yeah, Bark of the Moon, You're No Different, Rock and Roll Rebel, Slow Down, One Up the B-side. Very good stuff. No Rest for the Wicked. I actually have yet to listen to this album, but I know, yeah, Miracle Man's on here, which is a great song. It even has a live version of Miracle Man. Jakey Lee doesn't play on No Rest for the Wicked. His last appearance, I believe, with Ozzy was on Ultimate Sin, which I don't have. No More Tears, which is my second favorite Ozzy Osbourne album, everyone's favorite. But this is my second favorite Ozzy album. It's still good, though. I like it. This is right after the success, I believe, of No Rest for the Wicked, I believe. I mean, Mr. Tinker Train, Mama, I'm Coming Home, classic, No More Tears. Time After Time, Zombie Stomp, Road to Nowhere. Yeah, great stuff. I like that one a lot. 2001, Osmosis. This is when Ozzy was still listenable. I'd say anything after the next album I'm going to show I don't like. But Osmosis is pretty good. Perry Mason, See You on the Other Side, Thunder Underground, My Jekyll Doesn't Hide. Yeah, this is a very underrated Ozzy album. And then to end part 1, we're going to end it with Black Rain. The last good Ozzy Osbourne album, in my honest opinion. But I'm going to say his early stuff is better. His later stuff is pretty hit and miss. This is a good album, though, by Ozzy. I mean, I Don't Want to Stop, Black Rain, The Almighty Dollar, Trapdoor is pretty good, but probably my least favorite Ozzy Osbourne album. Still, though, Black Rain is pretty good. Alright, so we're going to end part 1 there. I don't want to make this too long. So, part 2 will cover the Metallica section, then Judas Priest, then Five Finger Death Punch, and we're going to go right into the rest of my rock and metal. So, until next time, thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please comment, like, subscribe down below. Be sure you hit the bell so that way you don't miss any more videos like this in the near future. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed part 1. Thank you for suggesting it. And I'll see you guys next time.